Hey guys, hope you had a good weekend. It's Tammy here. Just wanted to jump on and do another vlog. I was hoping to be at home doing it, but I've just been out with my two little ones. You'll be able to see Ella, and that's Evie, asleep in the back. We've just been for a lovely play date with a mums group that I've got. One of the mums had something at her house and it was really nice. Lots of kids Ella and Evie's age to play with. Yeah, so we're just on the way home and I realised that these two are asleep and I'm going home to a house full. My parents are visiting at the moment, which is fantastic. My mum and dad live in South Australia and they're retired and they travel around visiting. They've got my brother's in WA, and then I've got two sisters down in South Australia, and then there's a sister in Queensland here as well. So yeah, there's us kids are sort of all different places, and then there's lots of grandkids as well. So they sort of travel around, but yeah, they just arrived on Friday, so it's fantastic to have them here. It's the absolute best medicine I could have. Yeah, they've got their van, their caravan, so they park it in the driveway, so they've got their own little house. But yeah, it's been fantastic because Evie was 3 weeks old the last time that they were here, so they came for 6 months last time, and I was there for most of her pregnancy, and my mum was at Evie's birth. Which was great. So yeah, this time it's not going to be as long, I think a few weeks maybe, but yeah, it's just fantastic having some family support because Mark and I are on our own pretty much with the kids. Like I said, I have a sister who lives in Brisbane, but we don't see each other that often. So yeah, I just thought I'd say a little bit about my big girls. I was saying I was going home to a house full. Every Monday we swap over, having like my oldest two, Taylor and Sienna, my 13 and 11-year-old. We have week on, week off with them. So with I married my ex-husband, their dad, when I was 19. So yeah, I was a young bride, and then we decided to try for children straight away. So Taylor was conceived not long after that, and then we had Sienna, and that was only almost 2 years apart from, yeah, they were. So yeah, but my marriage ended just before Sienna was born. That wasn't my choice. So yeah, when I was younger, I guess, you know, you think your life's going to turn out a certain way, and then yeah, that was a bit of a shock when my marriage ended, sort of, and you know, you think this isn't the way it's meant to be, but you know, you look back, and at the time I was devastated, and it took me a while to get back on my feet as a single mum, but pretty early on, within the first couple of years, we decided that it was going to be best for the girls to us to have shared care. It was either that or I was moving back to South Australia to have family support, because I was on my own with them. So you know how a lot of people do, every second weekend or something like that, where their dad has time with the children. For me, that wasn't enough support because I was on my own, and I was young, and I guess I was really not rebelling, but just I was grieving the marriage. I was not in a good place, you know, sort of wasn't able to be. I needed support, basically. I was either said to him that I'd have to move home, or you had to sort of help me. So, and he's a good guy. He met a lovely girl about 6 months afterwards. Yeah, so she's been, I think, the glue that's held everything together. She's an amazing woman. I'm blessed to have her in my life because she treats my girls like they're her own. She has always been like that. Her and I are really good friends. We have catch-ups like every now and again, every couple of months at least. We get all the sisters together because they have a little girl who's 6, so it's all girls. Yeah, so it's lovely. That's sort of, I feel like we have the best sort of outcome of a broken marriage. I got on fantastic with his family still. His mother and father were a great support to me and have been even ever since I met them. So yeah, it all works for us. Obviously at the start it's always a bit of an adjustment for me. It was rough sort of trying to say have your children, especially when they're little, and then next minute they're gone for a whole week. I remember when it first started, I'd cry and it's not like I'd worry about them because I trusted my ex-husband, but it was to going from mother mode to then next minute I was a single young girl I was working and I could do whatever I wanted. It was very strange. It sort of, yeah, had its pros and cons. For me, I felt like I didn't want to give my girls, I didn't want to be without them at any of the time, but I decided that it was a huge decision for me to decide to stay on the Gold Coast. But I decided that really in the long run, down the track, when my girls asked me, you know, why they weren't close with their dad or why we lived in a different state to their dad, it would have been because I wanted to be back with my family, and ideally that's where I wanted to be. But I knew that yeah, because he was a good guy and just because we hadn't worked out, they still had had a right to have their father and have a relationship with him. So yeah, I don't regret that decision. It's still tough. Like I said, Mark and I, we're here without family, and that all comes down to that decision that I made to stay on the Gold Coast so that my big girls have their dad. And yeah, I think it worked out well in the sense that because we get week on, week off, he's very involved in their lives, as opposed to say just, you know, if he was to see them once a month or something like that. Yeah, so I think, like I said, there's pros and cons with it. I still struggle. I miss them. But I know this sounds bad, but I had to learn to switch off from them. And it's still difficult even now, but it took a while because otherwise you'd just cry, you'd just miss them, and I had to just try and think that I was giving them a gift, being with their father, and that's just how I got through it, and that's how I still see it, that when they're gone, that they're with their dad, and they're with their other sister that they have, and they're with their stepmom, who is, yeah, they're being cared for. And yeah, I never have had to question that, so I guess that makes it a lot easier to accept. If it was a bad situation, I couldn't imagine sending them there. But for them, it's probably been about 9 years that we've been doing that. So for them, it's all they know. Children are amazing. Like, I remember they would always say, oh, we have the best of sort of both worlds. We have 2 houses and we have 2 of everything, and I guess they get like twice as much Christmas presents, and they also do have 4 parents though. So I always say to them, especially now we're coming into teenage years, I always say to my oldest daughter that she's got 4 parents to answer to, so just remember that sort of thing. So yeah, it's so that's basically how it works with my older girls. They love their sisters to bits, and it's, yeah, I remember before we had Evie, she would miss them, and I remember thinking I knew that I would want Ella to have someone with her all the time, because when my marriage ended, I was always grateful that that Taylor and Sienna had each other, and even though they had to sort of go back and forth, I knew they had each other, and they were always together, and that always made me feel like it wasn't just sort of one child, that the marriage didn't work, and then yeah, if you know what I mean. So I know with Ella, I remember thinking that, yeah, she didn't understand why her sisters had to go and why she had to share her sisters, but obviously then she got Evie, and that keeps her company, and while her sisters are at their dad's, and she's starting to understand a bit more who their dad is and the whole sort of thing. But I think, yeah, when kids are young, they don't need to know all the details of why. But I guess for her it was why are they going and why are they coming back, sort of thing. But I think it's lucky that toddlers live moment to moment sometimes and day by day. So yeah, she's always had a lot of love, and I guess she's got Evie, and so yeah, it's never been a lot of upset. Now she's used to it, I guess, and she looks forward to, you know, I'll say, oh, your sisters are coming home tonight, and yeah, it's really good. They're really close, even though they do have that week apart from each other. Yeah, it's a beautiful relationship that they've got. So that's a little bit of a rundown in regards to my older girls and the sort of arrangement that we have. I was single probably about 6 years, I think it was 6 years before I met Mark and decided to get in a relationship. I really enjoyed that single time, living on my own with my girls. So yeah, that was sort of an adjustment to get back into a relationship, and obviously a huge change for Mark. He was a single man who came to Australia for a holiday, and then we met, and then we fell in love, and next minute he was staying, and he had 2 stepchildren, and yeah, it was huge. It was not what he thought would happen, I think, when he came to Australia, but that's what life's like, I guess. And yeah, he gave up a lot to stay here for us, and I know he doesn't regret it. I know he tells me all the time. And it is tough having, I'd love to have his mum and dad and his brother and their wife and his wife and their baby just around the corner. That'd be lovely. But yeah, we Skype and try and keep in contact as much as we can. Now that with technology, that makes it a lot easier. So yeah, but Mark stepped into a ready-made family, and it wasn't long after that we decided, yeah, I can't remember exactly how long it was, maybe a year and a half we were together, I think it was, and yeah, we decided that we wanted our own child. So yeah, it was a massive change of life for him. So you'd have to, maybe one day I can get him on here and get his version of coming to Australia for a party up holiday and meeting a girl and falling in love, and then next minute having 2 stepdaughters and starting a family. And yeah, that'd be a great idea, I think, to get him on here and get his take on meeting me and what that did to his life. Yeah, so yeah, it's a huge thing for Mark to take on. Mark treats Taylor and Sienna like they are his own children as well, and yeah, it's I feel really lucky with how things have worked out, say with having a broken marriage. So yeah, I never, when I was 19 and I got married, I didn't think that I would have sort of a second, we're engaged, we're planning the wedding, but yeah, a second life in a sense, a second lot of children. I think I thought I was done and that was it, but yeah, I think when you meet someone and they haven't got children and you're in love with them, it's just a natural instinct that you want to have a family with them as well, and we're very lucky the way that it meshes together. So yeah, I just wanted to jump on and give you a bit of a rundown of my home life. So I did want to do the video at home, but I just saw my opportunity of these 2 asleep. Miss Ella, she does not have day sleeps. She needs them desperately. I've tried everything at home. She goes to kindy 2 days a week, and she will sleep there. You know what it's like with toddlers. If all the other toddlers are sleeping, for some reason they will sleep, but at home she will just go, and I've tried, but yeah, she'll be almost falling asleep at dinner time. So if I go for a drive and I'm out, then she'll definitely fall asleep on the way home. I'll just get a little, sorry, little Miss Evie. There's my beautiful Evie. Oh, they look so precious when they're asleep, hey? So yeah, so I will be doing videos from home, but like I said, I was going to be going home and it's going to be busy, and the big girls will be wanting me, so I just thought I might quickly jump on and just tell you the story of the arrangement that we have in my life as a mum of 4 girls. So that's all for me today. Have a great day. Bye.